Hi guys, Sandra here from Create in Spain today, and I'm joining in the hop with Courtney Kreeber, and I was really delighted to be accepted onto this hop, and the theme is encouragement. So thanks Courtney for allowing me to participate, and let's see what I've done. I've decided to have a little change from my usual cards, and I'm doing an encouragement box, and this is the finished article. Now at the moment I could probably quite happily throw it out the window because it took a while to get here. Not because it's difficult to make, I hasten to add, but because it's about 35 degrees here, it's really humid, and none of my glues were behaving themselves, so it's been absolutely horrendous trying to get the video made. Anyway, without further ado, the box is one of the fold out variety. So the lid here has got a bow which I've made, very easy to do, and I have to confess I went a bit OTT on the bling. Why not indeed? So when it opens up you see these little envelopes. Now this is where the encouragement comes in, because each of these envelopes has a handwritten message, and that can be tucked back in. And then you have this box here. Now this box is made in one piece, and I made a little flower to go on the top. Now the flower is very simple to do. It's just layers of paper or tissue, whatever it is that you want to make it out of. And as usual, I will actually be giving you the design file for the entire lot. I've tried to make this so that if you don't have a cutting machine, you can still do it. You will need to separate out the lines for the SVG, but if you use free software such as Inkscape or GIMP, I think, you should be able to do that quite easily. So the box opens, and inside we have a little gift, and it's an encouragement heart. There we are, to encourage your heart. Isn't that pretty? So that's what I'm making today. Hope you enjoy it, hope you give it a go, and enjoy the rest of the hop. I've cut out the lid as well, and this is 7.4 across the top, plus the extra bit for the sides. Now I've made quite narrow sides. If you do want to make the sides deeper, then adjust that accordingly. Just make a bigger square around the edge, and you can just keep that in the center and then cut in as far as you need to. It's slightly larger to make room for the card. You want a little bit of wriggle room. Now my card is relatively thin, so I have also cut out some blanks which will go on the sides just to give it a little more heft, a little more weight. So I've got two pieces here which are going to go in the base to form a platform, and so I've put some double-sided foam tape on these to give it a little bit of a dimension. So literally just put one on top of the other. There we go. I've added the extra panels to the inside. Okay, I've managed to get some glue on the edge there. I don't know where that came from. No idea. I'm going to leave that to one side for the moment. So the inside of it, the structure of it has been done. So I still need to do the structure of the lid. I have another piece of card which is going to go in there. Because the card is slightly smaller, you want to put glue on the card and not in there, because you might end up with glue showing. Let's put a little bit of hot glue on there, and hopefully that's going to close my lid. And let's just check this is going to go together okay. There we are, that's how the box is going to be. I have made some little notes. This one says, Every effort puts you one step nearer to your goal. We have life is a journey, but you're allowed to take the occasional taxi. And if life is giving you lemons, make lemon meringue pie. Okay, I know it's traditionally lemonade, but lemon meringue pie is better. And celebrate the small things and they'll become big things. So little handwritten notes, and these are just pieces of paper. It was an origami pad, and I just cut them into 4, so it's 3 inches squares each. And for those we need some envelopes, so I've designed an envelope, and you simply fold along the score lines like so. Now you notice on these, a couple of the edges have got like the sides to them and then the others don't. And so the ones that don't fold in like that. And you want to put a small amount of glue, and it needs to be very finely applied on that edge there, that edge there, and press just to make the envelope. There we are. And you want to make 4 of them. Now what I'm going to use for the closure on these envelopes is a little bit of Eileen's Tack It Over and Over. Now I'm just putting some on my mat because it comes out a little bit too fast. And I'm just going to take a dotting tool and put a little dot on the top, just like that, and allow those to dry. Because Eileen's Tack It Over and Over literally does mean that you can open it and close it, open and close it, and it'll be fine. So that makes it very useful for doing those envelopes. This is what's going to go in the centre. I've included a pattern for the flower, and I've made this from my favourite material for flowers, which is a lightweight backing material for embroidery. I've got a lot of it. You can colour it any way you like. I've used food colouring, airbrushing, sponging on, whatever. And I've just stuck a little gem in there. It's a 1-piece box, and you simply cut it out and glue the sides together. And if you want to, you can make this out of a normal paper. All I've done is I've literally screwed it up to distress it so that it looks slightly frilly and not completely nutty flat. And it's just 5, I think it's 5 layers, graduated it so that it's smaller each time. And then you open that, and out comes this little heart on a chain, just a little charm that I've made. Now this is very easy to make. There are 20 hearts in there, and all you do is you fold them in half, you stack them and glue them one on top of the other, and then you simply glue them together. Once you've done that, you can just apply either a ribbon. If you're using ribbon, you could put it down through the middle, but this stuff won't go down through the middle, it's too thick. But you apply a ribbon or a cord of whatever type you like in order to be able to hang it up. So that's going to go in there. To take your heart, to put a dotting tool or whatever you're going to use, empty ballpoint pen, at the top of the heart where it indents, put your ruler in place, score down, and then fold it all in one action, and then you'll find that you don't have to go through afterwards and then fold them because you've already done it. And because you have the ruler there, it makes it a lot easier. I will stick my box down with some hot glue. Now, this one's got some glue already on the bottom of it and some card and things because I took it out of a previous one that I made a dummy. So it's a bit untidy on that edge, but just sit it in the middle like that. And I'm going to get some gems and put around the outside. So there we are, I've just put some gems around the outside. That does two things. It makes it look really pretty, and also it covered up the old glue spot I got on there. Don't tell. Right, I'm going to put these envelopes on to the card. So I'm just going to use some wood glue for that. But I'm going to be careful not to touch that bit there because that glue, the Eileen's tack it over and over, is still wet. So I'm going to leave that to one side and let it dry. I had an idea for decorating the side panels that will give it a lot of bling, and I'm just going to put these, I'm not sure what they are, but you buy them in strips, they're sort of on a web. And I've got some pieces of acetate, so what I'm doing is just putting a bit of hot glue over the acetate and then putting that over the top. The reason why I'm doing it is it's going to be a lot easier to stick the acetate to the card. Now that I've got my box decorated on the sides, I'm going to do a nice bow and put that on the top. Now I will include some decor panels for the sides in case you want to do something completely different, and if you have got a cutting machine you'll be able to do something quite fancy. But for those of you that don't have a cutting machine, something like that that you can stick on, or a fancy paper or whatever, is an easier solution. The bow, all I've done is created 3 loops of a nice fancy ribbon. I've used the glue gun just to join them up together, and it was literally looped and just laid one over the other. I've made a tail by just clipping the edges of a piece, and again it's being glued so that they're actually angled. And all I need to do is to put this underneath wherever I decide I want to put it. Add a little glue, if I can get some glue out of my glue gun, to put that on the centre. And then I will cut another piece of ribbon and make another loop. I just need to push my glue stick through a bit because it's stopped moving. So a little bit of glue on there, double it over, a little bit of glue in the centre of my bow. There we are. I think that looks rather nice.